Farhad,
Here.
hello. Ahmed, Alcor, Mohammed Afi, Mohammed, Jenna Bell,
Here.
hello. Just to repeat myself, is either Ahmed Alcor, oh, I see, he's coming in, or Mohammed Afi. Is Mohammed Afi here? Ahmed, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Joseph Catanzaro.
I'm here, Professor. Yeah, it's Catanzaro.
Catanzaro. Okay.
Yeah, you could just say cat. It's fine.
Cat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Jiamin Shen.
Here.
Hello. Janine Cola.
I'm here.
Hello. Kermia Cyrus.
I'm here.
Hello. David Estorovsky.
I'm here.
Hello, David. Marimar Garcia.
Here.
Hello. Monica Garcia. Monica. Okay. Alexia Harrigan.
Here.
Hello.
Here.
Kani Jiang.
Here.
Hello. Yusuf Khan.
Here.
Hello. Georgie Kermlishvili. Georgie. Summer Lamb.
Here.
Hello. Hongjian Lin.
Here.
Hello. Hamdi Molly.
Here.
Hello. Ludley Knoll. Ludley.
Here.
Hello.
I'm here.
Hello. Famida Patwari.
Here.
Okay. Emmanuel Plamakis.
Here.
Okay. Raquel Porteous.
Here, Professor.
Hello. Jishan Ruan. Jishan. Brendan Samuel.
Here, Professor. Morning.
Good morning. Aaliyah Todd.
I'm here, Professor.
Hello, Aaliyah. Stacy Ergiles.
I'm here.
Hello. Denasia Warner.
Here.
Hi, Denasia. Jack Wu.
I'm here, Professor.
Hello. Yayan Zhang.
Hi, Professor.
Hello, good morning. Yixuan Zhang.
I'm here, Professor.
Hello. Matthew Zhao.
Here.
Hello. Taryn Sander.
Hi, here.
Hello. Christian Mendez.
Here.
Hello. Margarita Sherback. Margarita. Janaya Pratt.
Here.
Hello. Alex Betts.
Here.
Hi, Alex. Jack Shrem.
Here.
Okay. Let me just call off. There are a few people who didn't answer. If you're here, please let me know. Mohammed Athi.
Here.
Okay. Monica Garcia. Georgie Kermlashvili. Jishan Ron. And Margarita Sherbeck. Okay, so today we are looking at, you're going to go around the room. If it's like the other class, we may just be able to do half, so we may fall a little behind on the schedule, but it's better to do this carefully than rush through it. Okay, so the discussion board on this is due tomorrow night. And I guess I'll just go in alphabetical order. Actually, I could go in reverse order. I put some late arrivals at the bottom, so I'll start with them. Hold on. All right. Maybe I'll do it on this. I'll use this. I think I have some different names. Presentation.
Hey, Professor, I have a question. You just said that discussion board is due tomorrow.
Didn't I say tomorrow?
No, it's on backboard showing February 15th.
Let me check. Oh, maybe I made a mistake. All right, well, if it says 15th, we'll stick with that, but the other class, I may have done it differently.
We had the what color is your parachute discussion board due 2 days ago.
Right, that was the one I extended then.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Okay, let me just double check this. CUNY. First, okay, CUNY first.
Yeah, I think it was my mistake, Professor. I think I forgot that you extended it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, no problem. All right, so let's start with Jack Schrim.
Yeah.
Okay, Jack, go shoot.
What's the question?
So today we're going to discuss what our career goals are, and what, there were some questions on the discussion board, like what your terminal values are and your instrumental values and what your mission is and stuff like that. But actually, I realized like the people I added at the bottom were new, so maybe I'll start in alphabetical order. And if you haven't looked at the discussion board yet, we're only going to probably get to about half the class because it does take some time. We only have an hour. So Farhad, why don't you start? Farhad Abdul.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
I didn't really know we had to use a discussion board. I kind of did it generally. Is that okay?
Yeah. And I don't care if you follow the that's fine.
Yeah, so I was just I just have a broad plan of what I want to do after college. So I'm a senior now and I'm majoring in business administration with a concentration in management. I'm also getting a minor in business law.
Okay.
So far I have one internship, and that was being an administrative assistant at a small music studio.
Okay.
I've done a couple certifications. I'm learning coding and programming. I want to try to get a corporate job for a couple of years and use that money to start my own business. I want to open a restaurant.
Okay.
Or like I want to start at a restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are all, you mentioned 3 or 4 things, and those are all fine. You said a music studio. I think you said something about administration. You said coding, and then you said a restaurant. That's all good stuff. What I would suggest to you is focus on one of the above. Like if your dream is to run a restaurant, what I would suggest to you is get a part-time job in a restaurant. Why diddle around with coding and which isn't to say that coding isn't potentially relevant to everything in the future, but you know, I think running a restaurant is such a complex thing. And you know, in Paris, the chefs in the 4-star Michelin restaurants start when they're children. They start their training when they're little kids. My stepson became a chef years ago, and he runs a restaurant in Pennsylvania now. He owns it, and when he was about 15, for a variety of reasons, I suggested to him he do that, and he did, and he decided to stick with it. And then he went to a cooking school, chef school in South Carolina. I forget the name of the school. It's they're not actually based, they're based in Rhode Island. But in any case, he went to this chef school and then got out, and his first job was with the Plaza Athénée in Manhattan. And when he went there, they said to him, well, you know, you'll never be like the chief chef, because like to do that, you have to start when you're a lot younger. And I mean, he had started when he was like a teenager. So yeah, my point is only that it's never too soon to start doing what you believe in. And, you know, if your goal is to be a great chef, you know, and run a great restaurant, I think that's what you should be doing now. You should be learning that.
I wanted to focus more on the business side of things. I don't really care about cooking and stuff. I just wanted a family business, like not like a real restaurant.
Your family owns a restaurant, and
No, I wanted to open like a fast food spot,
oh,
not like a real restaurant. Like I don't care about cooking and being a chef.
I see. So you want to start like one or more fast food places that you
Yeah.
I see. All right. Well, what I said still applies. I would say you probably want to focus on working in the industry and learning about it. Even in something like that, there's a huge number of wrinkles, and you know, plenty of them fail. So you want to learn how to do it the right way, and you know, that takes experience. You know, so my point is that you want to work in the thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, you know, otherwise, you know, your goal is great. One thing I forgot to mention that I've been thinking a lot more about what the effects of artificial intelligence are going to be on the type of work you do. You know, there'll always be owners of fast food restaurants, so that it's not going to change. But what will change, I have little doubt, is the way that fast food restaurants are being run. I have little doubt that robotics and artificial intelligence will increase in importance over time in these type of businesses. That, you know, that's one little thing. But what I would say generally is that it's true across the board, whether you want to go into HR or whether you want to go work in a hospital or whatever it is you want to do. Artificial intelligence is going to have a huge effect on that. You know, and I was talking with my wife about that yesterday. And, you know, we were talking about like these lawyers we've hired who take like some pre-written contract, often not even written by their firm. It'll be like something they bought at some shop that sells stuff like that, and they'll just take some generic thing, slightly tailor it, and then sell it, you know, sell it to a customer or a client for $2,000, and you know, make a few minor changes, often at the last minute, And I think that type of work is going to go away. I would say that artificial intelligence is going to be able to do that sort of thing a lot better than human beings. And so, you know, stuff like rote clerical work that's currently being done, say, by certain professions, let's say law, accounting, whatever, even medicine. You know, there's no reason why, in fact, in this time today, some medical procedures are being done remotely, and eventually it'll be programmable, and the artificial intelligence will probably be able to do a lot of it. So, you know, that then leads to the question, what is the role of human beings in the workplace? You know, so I think the answer is that there are certain things that machines are less able to do, and the things where human beings have let's call it a competitive advantage, to have greater capacity than can be programmed in artificial intelligence, will be retained. So people will continue to focus on human interaction on dimensions where there's a need for a human person to help and to affect people emotionally. And also in areas like creativity, where creative problem solving, where I think machines are good at processes that can be broken down into logical sequences. So my wife mentioned yesterday that she had read that a computer has already passed the New York State bar exam. So in other words, the artificial intelligence can already knows and can do the formulaic kind of law that, you know, and is it often involved in a real estate closing, filling out forms, doing stuff based on rote procedure. A lot of lawyers currently give this to their secretaries or legal assistants. And I think in the future, there won't be any need for that, for people to do that kind of thing. But what there will be a need for, and what computers can't do, is coming up with radically new legal strategies. That would require human interface, and also how to deal with the client, how to make them feel more comfortable about the transaction, things like that. So I think a lot of the stuff that is going to be done in the future, besides owning capital, you know, so Farhad wants to be a capitalist, the owner of a business, and that's fine. There's always going to be, you know, that'll always be around. But I think, you know, in terms of managerial work, what people are going to have to be doing is like creative stuff and human interaction, and also overseeing the mechanical and making sure that there's human rationality to it, and that it doesn't. I once had a professor who had gone to Yale, and he used to say, "Don't be like a Harvard man who falls over the side of a cliff with his argument." That, in other words, you can be so logical that you turn out to be foolish, and that can often happen. So I think you'll always need some degree of human oversight, but more generally, human jobs with a human emotional component, and that component of work, which we'll talk about, we're going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks, stuff like emotional labor, that type of work is really what is going to evolve. So I didn't spring this on you before, so I don't expect you to be talking about it just yet, but I think one thing you need to think about, I mean, I'm ready to retire. I'm 68. I could have retired already a while ago. In fact, probably 10 years ago. But those of you who are just starting out in life are going to be seeing these radical changes in the nature of work, and it's already occurring. So you go to a store now and they've got some rudimentary computer stuff that lets you check out by yourself. Sometimes it doesn't work that well, so at some stores it's better than others, but they'll often have a human being there to help you when there's a glitch. And that's just the beginning. So if you want to make an investment for the next 30 years, my guess is stuff like artificial intelligence, robotics, stuff like that is going to be huge. And so, I don't know when it's going to take off financially, but it's safe bet to say that stuff is going to be big in the future. So, as you're thinking about your career goals, the only thing I wanted to add to Farhad's thing is, think about a little bit, and, I'm not saying you have to answer this now, how will all this affect my work, and am I developing skills that will keep me in the game and not disrupt my life? The person who says, okay, I'm going to be a real estate lawyer and I'm going to do the same kind of transaction over and over again, and use the same forms, that type of work is probably not going to be here when you retire. By the time you retire, it will have been gone for people. Well, I mean, the work will still be there, but the people won't be doing it. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out, and you should think about it, because this is in the news every day now. Google announced a couple of days ago that they're coming up with a competitor to ChatGPT. So basically, the analyst on TV, I was just watching on Yahoo Finance, was saying that there's going to be a huge competition in this area, and basically the way we do web searches, is going to be blown out of the water. So it's a lot to think about. All right, did Ahmed go? Alcor, Ahmed?
I believe only one person has gone so far.
Yeah. Okay, Yusuf, thank you. I appreciate that. Ahmed. Okay. Mohammed Athi. And thank you, Farhad. I forget if I thanked you for talking. Mohammed Athi.
Yeah, Professor, I'm on the train. Can I come back?
I'll get back to you. If we can do it next time. Okay. Jenna Bell.
I'm here.
Okay, Jenna, you sound very unenthusiastic. Okay, I know it's early. Go ahead.
Yeah, so doing the flower exercise, I feel like it was able to teach me some personality traits about myself, such as like my willingness to help people. And I feel like I also was able to learn that I'm extremely driven. So I feel like my career, based on stuff that I do currently, would be something with sales and marketing. I feel like I'm able to push people, convince them to buy a product. And I feel like currently I have like a decent amount of experience. Like right now, I'm an assistant manager for like a private business that sells and promotes sneakers, clothing, etc. But doing that also has helped me learn also has helped me network with people who are yeah.
So,
I feel like that's what I'm trying to focus on right now, like networking really.
great. Jenna, have you thought about what aspect of marketing or what kinds of products? Have you gone that far?
So I haven't really, like right now I do like sneakers. I like the culture, like the fashion culture. Also like styling. That's what I really like. But what the real goal is that I would really want to do is like to market my own brand, like my own image,
Excellent.
like a content creator, like a influencer. I feel like
Move into
that's more of what I really want to do. But if not, like I would be able to like market for a company, like a specific product or something, or maybe other people, but I really want to market my own crafts, you know. But I know that the what's the word? Like it's like oversaturated. It's like everyone's trying to, you know, it's a lot of people doing that. So it's like you got to make yourself different. It's a little bit more difficult, but that's where networking comes in. It's really about who you know.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's all good. You're doing the right things. It sounds really cool. Okay. That's great. Thank you. Joseph Catanzaro. Joseph?
Sorry, I was unmuting my mic. Sorry.
No problem.
I had to,
Go
I'm
ahead.
in the library. I had to put myself on speaker. So yeah, probably have not as ambitious as goals as everyone else, but I'll begin. So first thing, like I noticed when doing this career goals thing is that I would love to stay in New York City here and work here. I love to travel. So that's one thing I've always done and something that is important to me with a job, like being able to go out and experience things. Pay isn't that important to me as long as basic needs are met. I kind of value happiness more so than anything else, being comfortable and always meeting open-minded people, people who are creative. Having said that, my career goal is to be able to be a musician. There's also other things, but like that's one of the things that I'm very passionate about, music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I definitely would need to like in terms of like a kind of guideline would be able to like practice my style technique, reach out to any current contacts, see if they have any insight, and also get out of my comfort zone, be able to perform. You know, like anxiety and stuff like that are definitely a thing I struggle with. So the challenges are definitely plenty. It's an oversaturated market. There's so many people trying to do the same thing. It's not a high success rate, but I don't really care about the fame or anything about that. I care about my success, which means me being happy with the work I have made, what I've done. And my takeaway from all of this is that for me, happiness is everything, living a comfortable life and just being proud of like who I am as a person.
That's all great, Joseph. Do you have any thoughts as to how artificial intelligence, I mean, as you probably know already, synthesizers have radically transformed a lot of the music industry. How do you think AI is going to affect your field?
Yeah, of course. Right. No, so we've already definitely seen like AI programs make beats, make different types of music, make, their own like songs, their own compositions. And I mean, if you use that to create something for like, let's say, you write some lyrics and you use that to create your own soundtrack, the background music to what you want to do, it might be easier, but it also might not have that same emotional feeling. Like it might not capture exactly what you're trying to do, but it definitely makes it so it is even more saturated because now you can get music through just generating an online program.
Yeah, it's online program. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Yeah, I've known a few musicians. My late wife had a neighbor who she was friendly with, whose husband had been a studio musician. He was making, very nice salary, but then it dried up because of the synthesizers, and I think that's been true in the market in general. So yeah, it's a lot to think about, and yeah, you're right. I think there's always going to be a need for creativity that goes beyond what AI can do, but of course you need to integrate it into the the mix of what you're doing. Cool, very good, Joseph. Janine,
Thank you.
You're welcome. Janine Cola.
Hi, I want to become someone that's working in a Fortune 500 company. I'm going to school for business administration, and my goal is to hopefully, make a major impact on the organizational mannerisms of the company.
Cool. So there's actually someone in a business class who wants to work in business. That's different. Okay, so just kidding. So basically, do you know what field and what type of Fortune 500? I mean, the Fortune 500 is everything, you know, it could be
I was hoping that maybe I could, I actually recently did some research and saw that I would have the opportunity to work with companies like, even like Facebook or companies like, I think it was an equity company. I don't remember the exact name because I did some reading earlier, but I was really interested in being able to work on their organizational team.
Did you say private equity? Did I hear you right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, of course, that's very different from Facebook. So
I mean, in all honesty, I just would like to, you know, have a major important role in the impact that the company is going to make on society. And I know that working within that, you know, field would help me do so.
yeah, what I suggest is you think about, you can't do that generically. You have to do that for a specific firm. So what you might think about is what type of firm you would like to do that with. You know, is there a particular category? And then get an internship there. You know, there are fields, there are jobs now in fields like ESG and DEI and all kinds of things like that that focus on social impact. And so I think if you get an you know, you focus on a particular type of firm, and then try to get an internship with that type of firm, and then parlay that into a full-time job. That's an easy way to do it. And there are plenty of, I think, a lot of opportunities here in the city. Maybe not Facebook. I forget. Facebook is what, based out in Seattle or something. But there are lots of places right nearby that are similar. So, you know, you can already get an internship in a firm like that. I think like there's less for private equity. Those guys, I mean, they worry about that stuff a
When I
lot.
did, yeah, when I actually was just looking into internships this past summer, it was actually really hard to find it with a private company. They more so are on the like need to know type of basis. It's like one of those like who you know type of thing, as opposed to like, you know, those, I guess, more larger firms or more public firms, they were offering opportunities.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. The one time I had a friend who I'd gone to business school with, who was a senior person at one of the major mutual funds, which is not private equity, but it's in the same broad industry. And I had lunch with him after 30 years or something, and I asked him if they could ever give our students here internships, and he said, you know, we get so many clients who want to get their nephew a job or whatever, and it's really hard to, you know, have a program. That said,
Yeah, I was told that it was more so tentative, and I was like, okay, which kind of means that you guys would never really give me a chance, whatever.
well, I wouldn't say that. I would say, first of all, you can identify, I mean, a lot depends. Do you really want to work in private equity? You know, there are a lot of people whose dream is to make a great deal of money in investment banking. And if that's part of what you want, then private equity is for you. If you don't really care about that, it may not be the right field, because that's the type of person who basically goes into that type of work. I
Super
mean,
stressful.
of course, yeah, you know, it's very high level and fast paced, and they're doing a lot of deals and so on. So basically, you could look, I mean, there are a lot of great corporations, you know, whether it be McDonald's or General Motors, you know, that are interested in corporate social responsibility, but you know, are more likely to hire somebody who focuses on that. I'm not saying the Goldman Sachs people don't care about that. And the truth is, like, some of those firms have been recruiting here because you know, they're concerned about their own lack of diversity in their own firms. So they're recruiting here. So I'm not saying it's impossible to get a job there. But
I do feel like it's less likely though, to be honest. I mean, like you
Yeah.
will see offers from places like GM and McDonald's or like Popeyes or whatever, like City MD, whatever these little franchises are. But you know, I'm trying to go on a larger scale. So I do know that'll be a lot more work, but that's what I'm going to school for.
Yeah, so, you know, when I said McDonald's, I'm not talking about a store. I'm talking about the corporate office of McDonald's.
No, I know. That's why I named places that I know of, have several locations that, you know, they are offering on
Yeah.
a corporate level. They are, you know, they're covering not only just the food level. So I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah, so basically what you want to do, I think you want to identify an industry. It could be private equity, or it could be food, or it could be whatever. And
Someone wrote in the chat that they go for Ivy League people, and I agree. They're not necessarily going to go for the smaller league people. Or
yes
smaller
and no. I worked at J&J, and some of the folks there were from Ivy League places, others weren't. There were a lot there from Rutgers. There, you know, there were different types of people there. There were people from the local area. So I wouldn't just rule anything out at this point. What I would do, I would try to do the informational interviewing that I've been talking about. Go to the career fairs, try to talk to people in the firms that focus on that you want to focus on, and try to get an internship at one of these leading corporations. I would say it's well within your grasp to get an internship at a Pfizer, a J&J, a Merck. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry for a few years. That's why I'm talking about it. But it could be any of the above. So, you know, if you want to work on Wall Street, then you can try the same kind of stuff with Goldman Sachs, with Morgan Stanley, with Lazard Frere, you know, and Brown Brothers Harriman, and you know, try to get, you know, initiate something, Deutsche Bank, whatever. And basically, if you approach the HR people with, you know, an internship, you're a business major, you're focusing on this industry, they may call you in. So I wouldn't just write it off. I think the main thing is to have a focus, do the LinkedIn networking, do the informational interviewing, go to the career fairs, talk to people in the Magner Center. There are people in private equity who went to Brooklyn College who you could meet. And there are also Wall Street people who went to Brooklyn College whom you could meet. All right, so if you haven't exhausted these avenues yet, you've left a lot of stones unturned. And so, you know, you can talk to the Magner Center about it and let them help you think about how to structure your goals. Okay.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. Okay. Kermia Cyrus.
It's Kermia Cyrus.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my goals, well, right now is to really like network and do internships, especially like this summer, even though I'm doing an internship right now, this semester. But my career goal is like, hopefully, I don't know, to be a part of like the music industry, but like the business side of it.
Okay.
But but I also really do love singing, and I've been singing like my whole life. And if I could go into that, I wouldn't mind. But yeah, I wouldn't mind like going into like the business side of music, or like possibly like working for like a social media company or something like that.
Okay. Have you been talking to such companies?
No, not right now, but I know I hopefully will like look into that during like the semester to like have an internship for the summer, because I have a college advisor program that I was put into when I left high school.
Okay.
and they have like a LinkedIn and like newsletters so that I could join it and then like, you know, network and find people to like reach out to help me get an internship in that field.
Good, good. Okay, so that's a good start. The other thing, can you tie in your interest in performing with your career goals? I know becoming a performer is a very difficult task, and you know, it's often a thankless one. And so having a day job is probably a smart idea. But can you integrate the performance interest with the other part?
Well, I just know like I've always been like an artistic person. Like I've always been in dance. I've been like always in like performing. I've been in cheer, Black Girl Magic. I've been in all like the performing things. So it's just like that's just who I am. I love to perform. I love to like create things and just like make people smile, you know.
Is that what you really want to do?
Yeah.
Why don't you, have you gone to auditions?
I used to, but like I haven't done any recently.
Yeah, I know, I wouldn't just give up on that. I would, you know, maybe is there
No,
like,
like since I started college, I just haven't been like had the time. That's why.
yeah, well, maybe you're focusing on the wrong thing. You know, I don't mean to sound negative about college, but it could be you're really a performer and maybe that's what you should be developing.
True.
All right, well, something to think about. I don't know. You have to decide that for yourself. But I don't know if I told you this story. I heard a talk by Tony Robbins, the self-help guru. And he said that his daughter was a dancer and she was going, I think he said to USC or some college in LA. I think it was in LA where he lives. And she won like several dance competitions and she was coming in like really succeeding in this, you know, in the college auditions and all this stuff. So he said to her, is that good? He asked her, is that a good thing that you're getting all the parts? And she said she thought it was. And he said, well, what is it you really want to do? And she said, I want to be a professional dancer. And he said to her, you know, I think you're making a mistake being in college. And he said, you're gonna drop out of college tomorrow and we're gonna fly to New York. And of course, he's very wealthy, so you know it's easy to make these kind of decisions for someone with unlimited. I mean, if she failed, he could always just pay for her college again. So you know, he's a multimillionaire. So it's like a different mindset. But I mean, the impulse is similar. So basically, she dropped out of college and they flew to New York and he enrolled her in a professional dance studio. And she was studying and meeting professionals in the field. And then within 2 years, she had a part on Broadway. And, you know, that really made an impression on me, that story, because I think a lot of students like put off what it is. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. That's your call, but a lot of students put off reality, you know, what would be a real success because they're afraid of rejection or they're afraid that they won't succeed. And, you know, you're at a point in life where, you know, if you don't succeed, you can always make up for it later. So the risk is lower now than it ever will be. You know, I think there's a lot to say for that. So it's something to think about. You know, I just thought I'd pass that along. I'm not telling you to do it. You know, don't go and do it and say, oh, he told me to do it. You know, but basically, if you want to do it, that's something you might consider.
I mean, I went into college so that like I had something to like, you know, fall back on. Cause yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but you're not doing the thing you really want to do. You're doing what you want to fall back on. You know what I'm saying?
True.
That's something to think about, you know. You know, I mean, there's always an issue of risk, you know, and return, and you know, how much do you want to risk? But you know, if you really have that desire, it's something to think about, you know. And you don't have Tony Robbins to back you up, and you know, I understand, you know, you're on your own, but it's something to think about. Okay, anyway, I'm
Thank
sure
you.
whatever you choose. Okay, David Esterovskoy.
Yeah, hi, Professor.
Hello, David.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So yeah, so my right now my major is business administration management, but I'm also learning coding on the side. And in terms of my like life goal, like I really have passions for like building computers and putting them together and fixing problems such as like viruses on them. So definitely in the future, I would love to have either like my own company where we would help people build computers, would come to a house and fix like issues on them, or I would also would love to work in in like companies that like make the computer parts, like such as like big corporations, such as like there's a company called Intel and AMD. These companies like both are like multi-millionaire companies that make like computer parts. And yeah, that's basically
That's
my
like really,
goal.
I mean, I understand you're interested in computers. You either want to work on the retail level or one of these mega manufacturers like Intel. But have you done, what have you done in the real world? Have you gone on an internship yet?
I haven't done that yet. I've just been like building it for my friends. Like I've been helping like my friends out with like putting them together and fixing it for them and like spreading the word for their like friends to like I could also do it for them and like charging them for doing that. But as such as like internship, I haven't done that yet.
Well, it's not too soon. And I think also you might ask yourself, you know, some of the stuff you're talking about sounds to me more like engineering than business. I mean, have you thought at all about focusing on engineering?
Not really, but I definitely would love to take a look at that.
Yeah. So anyway, it's I think that one of the people who founded Intel funded a program in CUNY at CCNY. Andy Grove, his name was. And he gave a lot of money. He was an alum of 1960 of City College, and founder and former chairman of Intel. He died years ago. And they have a program there in engineering. I don't know if it's related. I don't know a lot about it. It's not my field at all, but you might consider like taking classes there and broadening your understanding of hardware engineering, and also get out of the house, get away from your little circle, and try to get an internship in the big leagues. You know, like work with like the real people thinking about these things. You know, I think there's huge opportunities in the field, and you know, if you meet the right people, it could open a lot of doors. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for telling me this information. I'll definitely take a look at it.
Yeah, good, David.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Very good. Marimar Garcia. Marimar? Oh, Marimar was absent.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was here.
You're here? Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I'm a senior and I major in accounting with a minor in corporate social responsibility. And right now, I have been working as a dietary specialist in a nursing home for the past 4 years, but the bookkeeper's office is actually like right next door to where I work, so I get to shadow sometimes and just kind of learn some of what she's doing. But out of college, probably my plan would be to, try to get into some entry-level bookkeeping with more long-term goals of maybe becoming a finance analyst and hopefully one day a financial advisor altogether.
So let me back up for a second. When you say financial advisor, does that relate to, do you mean like a financial advisor, like an accountant who advises companies about their accounting? Or do you mean like a stockbroker who gives people financial advice about how to invest?
Probably about a stockbroker.
Oh, okay. So why bookkeeping? That's not really connected.
Well, I'm the type of person that I like to broaden, my horizons before I just delve into something. So that way it's kind of like a plan B to me.
Okay, well, you
I
know,
try to get a feel for everything in its entirety.
gotcha. I would say don't start with your plan B, but focus on your plan A. And you don't need to worry about plan B just yet. You're still in school. So now, one thing I would say, if you know a little bookkeeping, do you know some, or this was just because you're next door to somebody and you thought about it?
More because I'm next door. I
All right.
started getting a feel for it kind of late into the job.
So you're kind of a clean slate. You could go into a lot of things. One thing I suggest, there are plenty of stockbrokers in New York who have offices who could use a bookkeeper or some administrative assistant. So if you want to do some work in bookkeeping and start with that, you can probably get a part-time job in one of these places. And, if you just identify, there's probably, God knows how many stockbrokers there are in New York, probably thousands. So you just got to identify some of the more prominent ones. I'm a client of a firm in New York and Manhattan, Morgan Stanley branch, and they have people working there who do bookkeeping and other things. And, you can just start with a low-level job and, tell them that you're ultimately interested in a Series 7 exam and learning brokerage. But, you could say you've always been interested in the brokerage business, but right now you're just getting an administrative job, and you're thinking you want to learn the business as well as work, do a good job for them. And, you could probably get an internship doing this right away, and just get your foot in the door in one of these firms, and then, get to know them, and, you hit it off, and they could back you for the Series 7 exam, and you don't need to get an MBA. You can just learn the field. If you want to, do that, get a master's, or a lot of people in that field do have masters, but you don't have to, or maybe even better than that is a chartered financial analyst exam that gives you a very nice credential, or both, so or all of the above. So but the thing is, like, I wouldn't waste time like doing bookkeeping in some random small business that you don't really care about, just to get some bookkeeping experience, but target your experience to the thing you really want to do. I'm not saying it's a bad idea to go into bookkeeping initially, and when you get to the point where you're ready to take the Series 7 exam and become a stockbroker, you'll have on your resume, oh, I worked at this brokerage house for 4 years, and I've got, I answered phone calls and I helped clients, and so you've already done a lot of brokerage stuff by the time you've got some experience. Yes.
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah. So focus. What I'm trying to say is try to focus. You've got to create the experience set that enables you to get the job. No one's going to do that for you. One really great way is, again, I've told this to a few people, the Magner Center. There are a lot of alums of Brooklyn College who work in the field you want to go into. And so, I want to be a financial advisor. There are plenty of alums that are chartered financial analysts and that give financial advice, and some, different lines of the business, different aspects of the business. So you can, you talk to the Career Center, you go to the career fairs, you meet people, and they can probably put you in touch with some. Maybe they have some internships there, and that's how you get into it. Of course, it's a lucrative field, and you can do well at it. If part of sales, of course, is putting up with rejection. So, in any sales type field, you're gonna, for every sale you make, you're gonna get turned down 100 times. So you have to be ready to be rejected a lot, and you're gonna, one way to develop that skill is by going through it, by contacting people for informational interviews and contacting people for direct interviews. And that's how you build this ability to sell through selling yourself. And that's a good way to practice. Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Quick question. Can I, am I able to go right now? Because I'm not going to be able to be here next class.
Who's talking?
Stacy Lewis.
Yeah, sure. You could go now. No problem.
Okay. So just to start off, so I'm a junior majoring in business administration, and I'm interested in going into the human resources fields with like compensation and like benefits. This summer I was able to intern at a very popular makeup company, and I was an intern in compensation. And I really enjoyed it, being able to see kind of the analysis and the calculation of how kind of how everything formulates. So then I guess my main goal was just kind of transitioning into the finance industry, and being on human capital and kind of learning more about it. This summer, yeah, so I will be an intern in human capital at an investment firm this summer. So I'm just kind of
Excellent. All right. So you're doing what I already said other people should do. So so you want to stay in comp? Is that
yeah, I feel this summer that was my first real kind of professional experience, and I kind of just shot my shot when it comes to human resources. And then I realized I like compensation. I realized it's something that I do see myself pursuing for my future. So I think that's something, yeah, that I would stay with.
two areas that you might explore within that: executive comp and international. International people who know international always get a premium. They're, it's hard to learn, but it's a great field also. And it's related, of course, but then rather just do US people, you're dealing with expatriates and overseas policies and stuff like that. But overall, you're definitely on the right track, and that's great. I'm delighted to hear someone's gone through that. Very good. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, so next case is Monica. Is Monica here? Monica was the one who was absent. Is Monica here? Okay, we'll move on. Alexia Harrigan.
Hello?
Yeah, Alexia.
Yes. So currently I'm majoring in business administration, but my long-term career goal is to be a content creator. I have a YouTube channel right now with 1,500 subscribers, and I'm trying to branch onto TikTok now. In all reality, I'm only going to school.
I didn't quite hear. You said a concert what?
I would say I have a content creator.
A concert creator.
Content
creator. Oh, so
yeah,
like content,
like YouTube, stuff like that.
What kind of content do you do?
Well, currently for my YouTube channel, I do content like vlogs, I do hair tutorials, I do makeup tutorials, just stuff like that where you could teach people things, basically.
Have you followed Sam Ovens at all?
Huh?
Have you followed Sam Ovens at all?
No.
I highly recommend you look at his stuff. It's right up his alley. He spelled. I'll put it on the whiteboard. Actually, I'll do a screen share. He sold his firm, so because he doesn't want to do beginners anymore. But someone bought it, and he's got a lot of recorded content. So you could take a look at that. I think it'll help you a lot.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, the people who take his classes often have multi-million-dollar businesses themselves. So Basically, it's consulting.com. And he just sold it. This is Sam Ovens, the one on your right is Sam Ovens, and this is the new guy. There's a lot of recorded content. I don't know anything about the new guy, but I've listened to Ovens's stuff, and it's well worth the time. He has a lot of great ideas, and best of luck. It sounds like you're really doing a lot, and that's excellent.
Yeah, that's my long-term goal, basically. College is just like a backup plan, but I'm more focused on just the content creator factors of it.
Yeah, he went to college and he worked briefly for a corporation, and just quit and went into this, and taught himself. And basically, it's it's an emerging field. It's you can make huge money in it. And great, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Kani Jiang.
Hey, Professor, can I go?
Yeah, this is at Mohammed Athi, of course.
Yes. So for me, basically, I'm in my last year. I have been indecisive the last, I would say, couple of years in college. The last 3 years I've been in college. I changed my major a few times, but I was able to actually stay with business. So for me, I'm actually just looking to, the only reason why I'm deciding to study business, because I feel like it'll open up a lot of doors for me in terms of what I really want to do, probably outside of college, because there's a lot of opportunities within business. But other than that, what I mainly focused on the last 2 years is also doing content, because I work for a sports company that has a pretty big following on Instagram and other platforms as well. So for me, I'm also looking to do real estate after college.
All right, so what do you really like? You like the real estate, or you like the internet stuff?
Both.
You want to do both?
Yeah, I mean, no, I feel like I could do both, because the content, I understand that real estate, the amount of time you put in is what you will get back. But at the same time, I also feel like I could also do my content on the side and still do what I love to do, which is play basketball as well. So I think I will be good.
Okay, you don't think you can make it as a basketball player?
No, I'm not trying to make it as a basketball player. I'm just saying I like to film games, because that's what I do. I film games, and I meet a lot of people, like a lot of celebrities who are doing it. I met LeBron this summer. I met McNeil yesterday. So
Really?
yeah.
Okay, all right, I get it. So you want to try these different ventures, selling. I assume when you say real estate, you mean selling real estate? When you say real estate, you mean selling real estate, Mohammed?
Yeah, basically, yeah, selling real estate, trying to make profit and trying to flip houses and stuff.
And developing houses, is that the idea?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
so where are you gonna get the capital?
For me, I have not pretty much thought about it, because it's something, like I said, I'm trying to get into after college. I'm looking to take classes as well as doing this. So I have a lot to learn about before I can actually get into it.
Okay, all right. I think one big problem for a developer who's just starting out is where to get the investment capital. Okay, and one of the ways would be, if you're working in something that you don't mind spending a few years in, and then saving your money and then using that as your seed money as a stake to develop a house. So, I would imagine in Brooklyn, the houses, I don't know what they cost, $500,000 at a minimum, something like that. I don't know exactly. So you need to save up 100,000 seed money to start a development project of even just a small house. In other words, you would borrow the rest. So I'm looking, I'm just, I don't know how accurate these websites are, but I'm looking online. I'll share the screen with you. and this, I know anything about real estate in Brooklyn. But this one's 5 million, this one's 1 million, I'm not saying you're gonna start at that high a level. I see some for 750, another million, so, you're basically, here's one for 600,000, it's a 1-bedroom apartment. But, even the smallest kind of thing, a single family attached house, 720,000, here's some, I don't know what this is, something for 400, but it's like an apartment, I think. So anyway, so in other words, my point is just like even the most tiny real estate project in Brooklyn is going to be a significant amount of capital that few students I know have available to them. There are a few that do, but generally not. So basically, you're going to have to figure out a way to get that capital, and usually if you go for a mortgage loan, which I happen to have just done myself the other day to refinance something, they're going to ask what work you do, how much you make, and stuff like that. So you need to have a credit record. So you want to build up, so you need some kind of work to build up into this point where you have the investment capital to start buying investment real estate. One way to do that, Mohammed, I suggest that you, rather than work on Instagram, if you're serious and marketing, if you're serious about real estate, is to go to work for a large scale real estate investment company. And there's no shortage of them, like a real estate developer. There's a zillion of them in the city. I mean, New York City is practically where real estate investing was invented. And so I would say get some experience with a real estate investment company. It could be a real estate investment trust, or, it could be like one of the huge development companies in the city. Some examples or Helmsley Spear comes to mind. There's a whole host of them in the city. The Trump Organization is another, putting politics aside. There's huge numbers of these large scale real estate investment companies. One's called Corrigan. Okay, so here, best New York companies and startups. I'm looking at, and I see a big list of companies. So there's lots of places for you to get a job. And get experience in the field, as well as start to save your money for the investment capital so you can actually do it yourself. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say I get a lot of students who say they want to go into the restaurant business, but they want to start out in the banking business or something like that. And I think that's usually wrong. What you should do if you want to go and work in a stock brokerage firm is get a job in a stock brokerage firm or get an internship, and you're at a point where I am certain if you go and look for internships in the real estate companies in Manhattan and in Brooklyn, you will be able to get an internship right away. And that can easily lead to a full-time job. Now, if you work in a big firm like that, you're not going to be doing the whole ball of wax, but I think you're going to start to see parts of it, and maybe you can transfer within the company and see a few different things. So you can get like really high level professional experience before you go out on your own. All right. I'm not saying you can't just save up, say $100,000 and then borrow $1 million and buy a house and then fix it up. But I mean, a lot of that is you need to be earning good money to get that extra investment capital. And, I think someone with the credentials is going to find it a lot easier to get a loan. All right, so just throwing out some ideas. But you know, I'm going to say this to other people, I'm sure, and we're not even halfway done yet, and we're almost out of time. Is to focus on getting experiences now that you will be able to use when you do the thing you actually want to do. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. And sorry to say, we're only not even halfway done, and yet we're somewhat out of time. So it's 12:15, it's 12:13 now, and so we'll continue with this next time, and we'll have to move up the syllabus a little. We'll make an adjustment here or there. So have a nice weekend. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me now.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome, and thank you. Okay, I see messages.
Bye, Professor.
Thank you. Take care. See you next week.
Professor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Well, not really a question. I was here last class. I just came in late, but I have got to tell you.
Cyrus?
Yeah, Hi, Cyrus.
I had you marked present.
Because you emailed me saying like I came late.
Did you
Well,
email
no,
me
I was
back?
absent, but I just came late.
Did you email me back?
No, because it was late, and so I was like, I was gonna email you in the morning, but I forgot.
Oh, last class. Okay, I'm looking at this class. Okay, all right. I'll mark you late. Not a problem.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Professor. I
Oh.
also had a similar question.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, on Sunday when you were sick and we had a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, you missed the first class.
No, I was there. If you look at the recording, I joined and I was talking in the chat, but you weren't looking at it.
All right, not a problem. I'll give you credit. It's not an issue.
Okay, thank you. I was having trouble with the SSO, trying to sign in to Zoom with my school account.
Oh, dear.
And yeah,
Somebody else
I
had
still haven't been able to
trouble.
figure that out.
Yeah. Is it the school account that did it? Someone was telling me they were getting something weird.
Yeah, it's just not working for me anymore, so I'll have to figure that out.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you.
Sunday.
Okay, I'll see you next class.
Take care.
Bye.
Anyone else still here? Okay, class over.